Okay, welcome back, folks. This is Mr. John Lockley coming back with another tutorial in Ableton because I've had a couple of people on YouTube ask for me to do a tutorial on arranging the song. Um, so what I'm going to do is just go through it very simply at first. Going to show you how to get the stuff from this view, which is the session view, into the arrangement view, which is here. You click it here, right? Session arrangement. And we're going to be using one of my songs today. This is a newer song that I made. It's called Rocket. It's actually an electro song. So just let me go over the basics first about these types of songs now. Normally, these days, the electro songs are anywhere from, I don't know, around 4 minutes to 5.5 or 6 minutes. They can be a little longer, a little shorter, but that is the majority of the electro songs. So the song I made here is exactly 5 minutes and 30 seconds, as you can see here on the time marker. And if you take a look at this, up here you can see I have each section broken down and labeled. This is the intro, and we have the first break. This is, I just usually type back in. You could put it first verse if you wanted to. And then we have a big second break here. Back in again, which could also be called the second verse. And then we have a third break here, which leads to our outro. All right. So how did I get all of this stuff beautifully colored, might I add? All colored here, right? Yeah, if you want to do this in colors, you just right click and choose your color. It helps me stay, stay more organized if I do it that way. Plus, it's prettier. So how did I get all this stuff in here? Well, let's see. First of all, let me do something first. Let's see. I need to put a couple of things here. I don't have my samples saved in here, so I need to go in and actually do that. So all I'm doing is copying these samples and putting them in here, because actually I'll show you in a minute how I got these samples in here. I didn't start in the session view, I just started in the arrangement view. There's 3 ways you can get this stuff in here, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. So let me do this very quickly. What's this? Bomb kick. So I'm just copying and pasting into the session view here. I think I have one more. Yeah, this is a vocal up here. So let me copy that. And there we go. Okay, so normally when you start in here, you're going to have nothing, right? So let me go ahead and just let me go ahead and get all this and delete it. All right, so there we go. We have the blank slate, and this is what you start with. So how do you get stuff in here? Well, one of 3 ways. First off, you can do it like you do in other DAWs. You can go over here and you just choose your samples or whatever, right? And if you're going to make a song and you don't really know how to arrange it, what I find helpful is always to just take a song that you like, any song, and put it here in the first slot, right, as audio. So if I go into, let's say, let me try and go into my tracks, see what I got here. Anything? Yeah, just say whatever. I'll just use this track. Just drag it in, right? Put it in there. And then once it loads up, you can see how the song is actually divided just by looking at the wave file, right? So it's almost loaded up here. But yeah, so if you don't know how it goes together, just take a look like that. Open up a song, right? And then you can see here the wave, and actually it's pretty similar. I have my break here, and you can see there's a little break here in the music, the beat, right? Goes on. Actually, there's a little break here, a little break here. Here's a big break right here. So it's actually a little bit different from where I have mine loaded up, but you know, you can copy this song, right? Just put your intro in here, do your break here, just copy a song that you like, and from an artist that you like who is already, you know, well established, and just listen to the noises they have in there, right? Listen how they build everything into the song, right? And then when you get yours sounding similar to that, there you go, you got a song, right? Okay, so that's what you would do. Now you could, yeah, you could bring everything in just like that, the same way. You could have your samples, right? I have my samples here, so all my samples. I have kick drum. So if I wanted to bring the kick in, I just bring it in right here, load it up, right? Actually, this is a MIDI clip, so I can't really put that there, so I better cancel that. But let's just say I added another channel here, an audio channel, and just drag in the kick, and it loads up, right? Kick there. You want to make your beat. You know your kicks every beat, so you have to copy this out, right? So you would just hit Control D, and there you go, right? You have your beat. So let's see what that sounds like. Right, there you go. So if you want to actually just keep duplicating that out for the whole song, you can do that. Or you can also consolidate this. You can, you know, highlight all of it and click Control J, which will consolidate the audio and make one audio clip. So there you go. Now you have this, right? You have your own sample. It sounds exactly the same, but now it's a bigger one, and if you want to duplicate that, it'll help you go a little bit faster when you're painting in this. And if you want to go really fast, you can click on this and go down here, and then you can click this loop right here. Click loop, and then you can just drag this out all the way to the end of your song, right? And put your samples in this way. All right, so that's how you can do it. You can, you know, drag in every sample you want like that. That's one way. Okay, let me delete this now. Don't need this anymore. Okay, so the second way to do it. I think I've talked about this in another tutorial, but actually you can just get all your sounds in the session view first, right? Usually this is how I do it. I put in my drum sounds and then the bass and everything else as I go, as I make the song. But you can just take this also, take it and drag it, click it, drag it into this little block, and come back and put it into the position that you want it, which is here, my kick right here. So now I have my kick in there, and all I have to do is just draw that out as far as I want it, the length of my song, right? My song's 5 minutes 30 seconds, so just draw it out, and there you go. Is that right? 5 minutes 30? Yep, 5 minutes 30. There you go. And then I know I have a break here, so all I got to do actually is just take this and delete it out, because I'm not going to use the kick during the breaks. Take that and delete it out. So there you go, right? Actually, why is that break right there? Who knows? And there you go. Your song is getting ready, right? You can take this out also. Your song is starting out and you want to listen to it. Just your basic kick. Okay, and then you can also just take in every sound like that. Take this one in. Take it over. Put it in here. That's the 808 boom. Do it like this. Draw it out. Actually, I can't draw that out because I don't have it looped. But I can duplicate it. Boom, 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 just like this, right? There you go. Take it back. And let's hear what it sounds like now. There's a sub bass to the kick, so like that. Okay, so that's the second way you can do it. Take every clip that way, right? But it's probably going to take you forever. So the third way, which is a way I use most often, I think. Well, actually, I use a combination of all three, but sometimes when I'm just trying to get the feel of a song, I will use this third way. Okay, and this is in the session view, and actually see these little sessions right here, right? It's got 8 of them, and the more clips you put here, this will actually get bigger, but they have this play button here for a reason, right? So if I click record and then I click this button here, it's going to record everything on this top level into here automatically, right? So I'll show you how we do it. So let's actually, I don't want to start with this one. I will start with something with my kick. Let me turn that bass off. I'll start with this one, and let me name that intro. Right, and then I might go on and add next something, another noise or whatever, or I could actually go to the second one, which is this one, or actually put in this one is just a couple of sounds right here. So put in intro, or actually let me name that break. And then I could go up here and put in one, then name it just full, right? Okay, so let's press record, and I'm going to hit this one first, the intro. And actually, if I was doing this in order, I would have the intro here, break here, full here, like that. But just, I've already got it set up, so I don't want to change it. So I'm going to do it here, intro, break, full. Okay, so let's hit record. And then we're going to start our intro. So when we take a look in the arrangement view, as you can see here, it is actually recording the sounds that we have, right? It's actually, now when I change it to the break, now it is recording a new plan. You can't really see it right here, but once we're finished, you'll be able to see it. And then we go into the full. Okay, so just for educational purposes, now you can see everything that we just did is automatically drawn into here, right? So the first bit, everything we had on the intro line, that's it. Second one was the break, and then this was the loop here. Now, if you want to do that, set up, all your different sessions here, you can do it. And just make your whole song like this, all the way out. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever. And it'll record all the way out to the end. And then you can start doing your chopping and your editing and everything else like that. Or you can just record it for a little bit, 8 bars or whatever, and and then take this, highlight everything, say I want to move it over here, to the one position like this. And let's say, yeah, okay, maybe I don't like this part. I want to delete this part, right? Or maybe I want to move it over here. So that's how you arrange stuff in Ableton, the 3 ways. So use whatever way is best for you. All right, so let's actually go into my song now. So let me go back and delete everything I did till I get back to my song. And by doing this, you just hit Control Z, which is going back, deleting everything you just did. So if you do something, you don't like it, Control Z, it's gone. All right, there we go. So we are back to my song now. So we're going to see how I arranged this song. So actually, let me take this first audio bit out because I don't even use that. I don't need that. Okay, so how do we do it? Now, normally in these types of songs, electronic songs, they're pretty much laid out in a similar fashion, right? The intro is normally from, could be from 30 seconds to a minute to a minute and a half, but generally I like to have my intros about a minute. Also, the outro about a minute because I'm a DJ and I need some time to mix in my songs, right? So generally, in the intro and the outro, there's not going to be much going on. It's going to be, a couple of sounds, some beats, maybe some vocals here and there, and some other noises to glue the transitions together, right? The intro is going to build up into this break part right here, right? And then you probably introduce something here, a new sound, and then once you hit the first verse, you're going to be pretty much full board going here, right? So you see it changes a little bit. There's some more color here, different things I brought in. Vocal here, bass here. And then generally in these songs, there's a break, a big break, somewhere in the middle of the song, right? So here, you're not going to have any kick drum. You may or may not have the bass, depending on how you do it. And this is actually just going to take everything out, and it's going to slowly build back up. And you're probably going to introduce some new noise here, some new sound. So once you bring it into the second verse, and back here is really going to be going. This is where, by the time the song hits here, everybody's going to be going crazy. And now it depends on how many breaks you want to use in your song. It's your choice, but generally there are at least 2, right? And it could be shorter or longer than this. This song is just the way I did it, just my preference. But I have a third break in here, and this actually, the third break helps me set up the transition to the outro, because I got a lot of noises going on here, and I don't want to take them out suddenly. I want to do it gradually, but I have noises in here which allows me to just, it transitions into the next part nicely. And actually, my things are out of whack here. Why is that? Why is that? My intro needs to move here to where you are. Outro. Sorry. I think I moved it a minute ago when I was doing something. So let's get that right. Just so I can show you how it goes. Now, I'm going to let you listen to this song first, each part of it, and I'll go over what I'm doing. So let's listen to the intro. Remember, again here, not much is going on, but I'm going to try and change it up every 32 beats or so. So I introduce new sounds. You want to do that in your song because it will get repetitive. So those little changes will keep the audience interested, and that's what you want. All right, so let's just take a listen to it. Okay, so yeah, all we have going on here in this intro is just this kick. There's a little sub bass kick. The lead which is I'm using here is just like a kind of a filter, kind of a bass noise, and the pattern I'm using is going to be the same pattern that I'll use with the bass later. So I want those to kind of mesh together. But here, let me solo this and you can hear it. I kind of got it low there, just add a little atmosphere, right? It's coming in, and once it gets here and kicks into the next part, you're gonna hear it. It'll be a lot louder. All right, and what else? We have the snares here, some hats, and some claps. So as you see here, it comes in, changes to the claps right here, and you can see the every 32 beats or so, I have these little things. Now we use these in electronic music, crashes or reverse crashes, cymbals, something like that. So let me solo these. All right, so this is what transitions into the next the change in the song. Right, and those are very, very subtle because they're not very loud in your song, but you can definitely hear them, and it does help bring in new sounds, especially hi-hats, because it's the same type sound. All right, now once we're coming up here, we're going to get to the break. Now let's take a listen to the break. First off, let's take how it transitions into the break here. I got a little vocal just to change it up, and then boom, it's going to hit to the first little break, which is only about 4 bars here. So let's take a listen to that. Kick, kick, kick. Kick, kick, kick. Rock, hit, hit, hit. Okay. All right, in this break, what you use generally in breaks is going to be the same here as like a crash, one of these crash sounds, this little crash echo. This kind of tells that something's going out right here. Take a listen. And it's a different noise, so you know, it's just a crash. This is also a crash, but it's a different crash. So you want to try and use different noises in your songs just to keep it fresh. And also we used a bomb kick right here, which actually you can make this kick, just get any kick sample and put a big reverb on it. Then you can record it or just freeze the track. How would you do that? Freeze the track here, and then once you freeze the track, you can flatten the track, and it will make an audio clip out of that for you. But the bomb kick sounds like this. That really lets you know that, hey, it's a break now. The beat is dropped out, and we're getting ready to go to the next section, right? Okay, now, I also used in this break is snare pattern here, right? If you notice in the intro, and this is on the 2 and the 4, the normal snare pattern, but I just sped it up here and made a little snare roll to lead into the next section, right? This is a good builder, right? And this is what you need in your breaks to go to the next section, right? All right. And to kick it all back in, I used a reverb clap right here. And it hits right here on the end, right? So I have it build up until right on the last beat there. It'll be the 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th beat, it clicks in and then it comes back in, right? So that's what we got there. And again, you can make this one yourself. Just take a clap and put a big reverb on it and save that as an audio clip, and there you go. You got your own sound, right? Okay. So let's hear how it kicks back in. Now, the next section, the first verse here, the only sound I'm really bringing in here is the bass. And I used, for this bass, it is a... Hold on, let me change this. It shouldn't be bass mid. It should be bass. Bass. Yeah, it should be bass mid. There we go. I used a massive, wait a minute, wrong one. I used a, wait a minute, no, I used a combination. For the low bass, I used a massive VST. And this is, I just kept the sub bass part of this, as you can see in the EQ here, just the very low frequencies. And let's see, the high, I also used a massive. Same thing here. It's by Native Instruments. If you don't have this one, it's a good one if you're making electro. And for the mid bass, it seems that I use the Nexus right here. So I use one of the presets here on the bass. It's just a bass distortion here. So first let me let you hear what each one sounds like alone. Here it is. Now if you notice, this is the same pattern as that lead that I used in the intro and the break, right? So it complements the lead. Alright, this is the mid. And the high. And all together. Okay, so that's how we made the bass. Now you can make your bass any way you want. You can just use one plug-in or one, built-in instrument from Ableton. It's up to you. Analog and Operator have some good ones, or you can bring in a bass sample in the simpler or sampler and make your own pattern that way. Either way, but yeah, there are millions of tutorials on basses and everything else. So I'm not going to go into that, how I made it, but we're going to go into how it comes in. So let's take a listen from the first break again until it comes back in. Here we go. Okay, so that is full blast, right? Now, like I said before, you have to change your song up. So you can see here with these little blanks right here where I've taken out the beat and the snares and whatever in here. But there's something there, right? So let's see, what do we have? Yeah, we just have different sounds in here. I'm using this vocal right here to add a little spice to it. There, and then I use the reverb clap here again, right? Switch it up. And yeah, over here we can see what I've done with the bass here. I kind of chopped it up here where normally I have the bass moving down here, pitch down, where it goes dun 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 dun, woo, dun 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 dun, right? So actually I took that out here in this last little section, which is building up to the next break, and I just inserted the vocal in there instead of having it pitched down, right? Let's listen to that one more time. Alright, so there again, I'm talking about changing it up, right? You have to change it up, keep it fresh, and that is one way to do it. Okay, and also, let's take a look at one of these sounds right here. I have my lead, mega lead, right? So this is the same lead filter bass that we used in the first part of ours, right? So over here, I just have this, a new pattern, right? We have this pattern here, as you can see, is the basic bass pattern right here. So let me hold on. Let me just play this part for you. Okay, now why is this pitching up here? Well, hey, easy way. Look here, and I'm right here. I chose the pitch bend, so I actually drew this in here, and I have it pitching up right here. This is how you do it, right? If you want to change the pitch on one of your sounds, you're gonna have to click this envelope thing first, so you can see the envelopes here, and then you can choose whatever you want. There's different things here: panning, portamento time, modulation, whatever you want. I just wanted to use the pitch bend, so that's what I chose. There it is, right? Okay. And here, this is the part where we're using the pitch rise to bring it into the second break. So let's see what that sounds like. Okay, there you go. All right, so as you can see here, I just have a regular scale drawn out, and I have the notes overlapping just a bit so that it glides up into the next part, right? If it was just like this, the sound would be do, 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 like that. But since we have it drawn out like this, it overlaps, and you may need to go into your VST, whatever I used here, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I used the silent one. So actually here you can control the portamento time over here, right? So you may need to do that on your VST or whatever you're going to use, your built-in instrument, and to get it to glide. Sometimes it works without it, but most of the time you have to do this, right? And again, you can check on YouTube, just search that, how to do that, make this part, but you can mess around with it by yourself and try to figure it out, right? Just remember those things. But I have that part building up into the second break. I used it again here and here, just to signify a change in the song, right? Okay, so let's go back, take this down. All right, and other than that, I think it's pretty much the same thing here. This part is almost identical to this part here, except for the way some of the sounds are arranged. Again, keep it changing. And also you can, another way to keep it changing is to affect the modulation on your VSTs, right? So as you can see here, I have an auto filter here, right? And this changes the sound. Let's see. Let me show you how it changes the sound here. This is drawn in from just about 200 hertz to 100 hertz, but I wanted this song to gradually come out in the outro, so you can see it and listen to it here. As you see, the auto filter is all the way up here, and here it's going to come down. Watch this here. There. So this is actually the lead part from the start, and it gets lower and lower as it goes on until finally it gets here and it's barely noticeable. So it gradually went out of the song, right? Because you don't want to be changing your sounds so quickly that the audience can hear it. Usually they don't like that, right? They want the sounds all blended together. All right, what else? I think that's about it. Yeah. Again, you can just take a look at this and see how I have it arranged. And if you have any more questions, yeah, just shoot me some more comments on YouTube, and I'll go over some other stuff. If you see anything that you want me to go into more detail about on here, just let me know, and I'll do it. All right, that's going to do it for today's tutorial. So until next time, take it easy, folks.